lot of things we can do from the outside in, and there's a lot of things we can do from the inside out. And tonight is going to be more of an inside out class. So we can focus on that from here on out, knowing that even if we dropped our pens and our papers and, lost everything, that we'd be okay, that our bodies were designed to sustain themselves, and we're all born with a natural organizing intelligence that gives us life and that helps us heal. We're going to be talking about that power in our body tonight and how we can maximize that. And first, we'd like to cover a couple definitions. Health is a state of mental, physical, and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease and infirmities. So when your friends and your family often say, like, oh, I'm healthy because I don't have any diseases. I don't have any pain right now. I don't have any of that going on. Well, that's kind of how the old school thinking of health has been, and a lot of people have always thought that way. So if you don't have a sickness, you don't have a pain, you're going to be healthy. But you and I, all of us know that health is much more than that, and it's much more of a holistic thing. And a few years ago, there's a supermodel, and she was on a tropical island and, getting some photos taken, and she discovered a lump in her breast, and everybody thought she was the most healthy and beautiful person on the planet. And sooner or later, she ended up in the hospital, and then the cancer metastasized, and, health was all of a sudden a very important thing to her at that time. So we all know that health can escalate and go up and down very quickly in just a matter of time. And right now as we speak, my great aunt is actually on her last few breaths, on her last days, but she's lived a very long life. She's 96 years old. And so as I'm talking about this, I'm also thinking about people in my life, in my family, that I know that, they could be healthier, but there's also the aging phenomenon too that we all relate to. But tonight we're going to be talking about how we can gain more wholeness through some of really easy things we can do on our own. A condition of wholeness in which all the organs are functioning 100% of the time. This is really cool. The spine here, in which we all hold in our back, we're going to go over this in a little greater detail. The nerves go to every single organ and gland and muscle and tissue in the body. So every second of the day, we have 5 to 7 nerve fibers going to every single cell. So you can imagine, not only are all the things we're experiencing in our environment are affecting our nervous system, but also some of the things we store up, like physical stuff. Like maybe when you were a kid, you fell off a bike or a horse or got in a little car accident or had a minor injury. Those little things we even do over time as adults can really add up too, like poor work posture and ergonomics, sleeping on one side all the time, storing up stress and not releasing it, right? We store up a mental, emotional stress in the spinal cord and the brain. The nervous system doesn't have a chance to release it. Guess where it goes? Hangs out in your back. The spine is like the back of your mind, and the shape, tone, and position of your spine determines the shape, tone, and position of your life. So your spine is your instrument for how you live your life. And it's like the interface between how we experience our entire internal world, what we're feeling about ourselves and how we feel either yucky or feel really good, and also how we feel about others. So essentially it's our dashboard, our interface, our internal GPS for how we experience our health. And so what I like to do when I work with people is get them to a point where they know they're well, where they don't need somebody to always be telling them, yes, you're going to be okay. But for a period of time in our health and our healing, we sometimes need that, like a doctor, to really step in and be like, wow, yeah, this is what you need, this is where we're at, and this is where we're going. And then as we continue in care, we find the checkups are less frequent because the person has then been through that level of healing where they're able to sustain it, and they're also able to sustain that level of well-being in their spine and in their nervous system. So it's pretty cool.